Dun 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 dun. I'm Noah Wilburn.
That was so anticlimactic.
I'm Batman.
Lies. I'm Isaac Applegate.
And this is
Am I
Creative. Boom. Featuring Thor.
The first question, the warm-up question. What's your go-to celebration restaurant?
Celebration restaurant?
I've never... The most expensive one there is.
You're that guy.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
I don't know. I just like good food. It's not about the price. Like one of my favorite places is like La Tienda or Linda Vista. Two really good Mexican places.
So you are both in leadership positions. What does being a leader mean to you?
It's a lot of learning, consistently learning, and consistently making an effort to learn.
Yeah, learning. Not being too cool for school, thinking you got it all figured out. Even like when you've reached a pinnacle where people come to you, I still hope that the best leaders that I've seen they're still consistently learning and asking questions. So that's a huge one. But taking responsibility, I've worked for people and I've seen it happen to other people where the leaders like push responsibility off on other people. Don't do that. Take the wins, takes the L's, and delegate. Don't freaking hold on to everything. Try to give it to other people.
What difficulties do you face being a leader?
Okay, so making decisions. That's a difficulty as a leader. Just because one decision can affect everybody, you know. So it even goes as close as like just things that you say or promise or you know whatever. So I would say a difficulty is making the right decision, or looking to make the right decision and then making the right decision.
I think one of the ones that I faced is really getting just to know people's strong suits, what they're really good at, what they're really passionate about, and then finding appropriate ways to utilize those talents. You can't do everything all at once, but you also don't want to neglect something just because you think you have something figured out. So that's one for me, is just always making sure that I have a beat on the team. And what they're passionate about, what they're good at, make sure that I'm utilizing that to their fullest potential. Because when we do, then everybody benefits, because everybody's operating on what they're really good at. So.
Yeah, and also creating like a space for people to like work in, you know what I mean? I think that's also a thing that's kind of underrated. Like when you're in leadership over people and you give people a job, it's your job as a leader to make sure that the space that they're working in is efficient and comfortable, you know, so that they're able to produce. So whether it's like systems or like even like the literal office environment, I think that's also a very underrated thing that people don't understand that a leader has to do.
Is leadership something that came naturally to you, or is it something you had to learn?
Thinking back to my childhood, for me it was more of a learning thing. Like for me, I learned everything I know from leadership events that my dad would take me to, but then also just watching my dad operate. He's always been a really big component in my life for when I make decisions or how I talk to people, or how I communicate with people, or just how I operate as a leader in a business. But yeah, so he's always been, so everything that I know, I've learned from him, but I don't think I was ever like a natural born leader, to be honest. Because I still look, well, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I don't think I was a natural born leader.
You were a prodigy?
I wasn't I think I was born very much so to be like just do my thing. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
I come out with a microphone in your hand.
All right. Yeah. No, that would be Justice. I feel like Justice is a natural. My brother, he's 18. He's a natural. Like everybody just kind of like is drawn to him. You know. I don't think that was my. I had to learn that skill.
No, it didn't for me. I was very much the the quiet kid in the corner, so nobody looked to me for anything, at least from my perspective. But I observed a lot of things, and so I learned a lot. But then as I started to come into adulthood and into the business world, that was what I gravitated towards, was learning people and systems and how to work with the team. And so the key part for me was, now I had all this information, I needed to find my voice and how to express that and take that step forward into the leadership position. And some of it, to be honest, was just getting around the stigma of leadership and being in charge, and just, it's not really what it's about. It's just getting down and doing it. So no, a lot of learning and a lot of stepping out of comfort zone for sure.
So who would win in a fight? Batman or Iron Man?
Yeah, Batman. Yeah. Batman.
I want to say Batman because he's my favorite, and I will fight anybody to the death or that he's the best. But Iron Man plays dirty, so I think
But
he might.
here's the thing. Iron Man to his core, all right? To his core, he's very much like just head first. Like, he doesn't really think. He doesn't really like plan anything. You know what I mean? Like, he'll have like the simple plans. See, Batman, like, he already knows. He already knows what you're gonna do before you do it. You know what I mean? He's that calculated. So and then when you get down to it, it's like, who's gonna win in a fight? I mean, dog. Like, for me, Iron Man has more technology and stuff, and has like the laser beams and all that, all that stuff. But it's just,
I don't know, man. You see some of those bat suits, bro?
well, that too. Yeah. That's fact. That's another thing. And it's just, so I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
man.
They're both super rich. They're both incredibly intelligent. I just think it comes down to who plays ethically and who doesn't. Iron Man plays dirty, so I think, and that's the real world, kids.
Yeah.
The world's not fair.
I mean, it's true too.
I think Iron Man would win because of that.
I honestly, I just think Batman sings like, I don't kill people. But like anything other than that, I don't see it. I don't know. But hey,
Sorry, Batman.
I'm with you, Batman. So
So at the beginning of the month, I asked you guys what you wanted to accomplish this month. Now I'm checking back to see if those have been accomplished. So Noah,
what did I say?
Noah, at the beginning of the month, you said you wanted a good sales process down. Do you have a good sales process?
Yeah, actually, I do. So yes.
Can you tell us what that's like?
Yeah, sure, why not? So basically, this is how it goes. You have the cold outreach or whatever, email, phone, somebody comes to you, whatever it might be, right? Inbound or outbound, we don't have to go into that. Then it gets into the qualifying phase, right? So whether it's somebody that's like, hey, I need a video because this and that, you just let them talk, just let them explain exactly what they need. And then the second meeting usually is comprised of going through like the qualifying questions. How many people on your team? Do you have a budget? What does success look like? Yada, yada, yada. So we have these different questions that are laid out in this form, so that usually either myself or somebody else will fill it out, whatever that might be. And then after, what happens is we build like a rough proposal. And basically that just looks like everything that all the ideas that you had, we kind of like pick it apart and organize it and make it make sense to you. So we just kind of like present it to you, and you're like, hey, like that's great, or no, I don't like that, and this and that. So we kind of just walk through it with you. And then the third meeting, the third meeting is usually when we're presenting okay, this is like the final, this is it, like this is what it looks like, this is gonna be the cost, what do you think? And then either you go through with it or you don't, and then we'll just follow up. So that is the process.
So Isaac, at the beginning of the month, you said you wanted the team to have the elevator pitch and mission statement memorized. Is that goal accomplished?
Well, it was already failed because I didn't remember what I said, so I clearly wasn't keeping track of it, so it was doomed to fail. And as far as I know...
What's the mission statement?
Changing perspectives by communicating the value
You
of
knew
creativity.
I was gonna ask that.
Bridging the gap
didn't you?
between success and failure.
You knew I was gonna ask that, didn't you?
Yes.
You son of a bitch.
Now, what I will say is I have heard that language more just throughout our interactions as a team, which is good. But no, that was a failure as far as it is not in the DNA of everyone yet. So try again.
Yeah, even on the elevator pitch now, which is actually bad because I'm usually the front person.
The week this is releasing, it will be tax day. April 15th. So, I want you to go into graphic detail about how much you love paying taxes.
I can go into detail how much I love Michael Solomon.
Who is that?
He's our accountant. So he's great. So he does a lot of our stuff, and does a lot of my stuff as well.
Oh.
So yeah, I know. It's pretty convenient. So I don't really have to think about it. So that's the lesson. If you're not good at something, give it to somebody else. That's what I did. That's why we're here. Sure.
Yeah, they are necessary, so pay them because you're supposed to.
Good advice. Thank you, Isaac. And next week on our
Here's one thing I will say about leadership, because that was a terrible answer.
Okay.
The biggest quality, and I've heard this from the best leaders that I've studied under or listened to, is servanthood leadership. So you're not the boss to be the boss in charge and say, you do what I say, because I like the old parenting technique. Best leaders are the best servants first, because they're concerned about serving their team and the vision. And you put your status second to that. So
Probably one of the best technical pieces of advice of leadership I've heard was from John Maxwell. And it's probably everybody knows this, but your business and like the business entity can't elevate. So like if your leadership is at a 5, then your business can only elevate to like a 4. You know what I mean? Like the business can't ever elevate past your leadership. So the more that you develop as a leader and just as a human being, the more that what you're trying to do in your mission can elevate with you. So I thought that was really, really solid, and it's a lot of motivation to be consistently learning as a leader. So
that was better than our first answers.
facts.
Fix it in post.
Fix it in post.
Pay your taxes, kids.
Pay your taxes. We'll see you next time.